this morning, sun's a bit hazy, checking the forecast, things looking crazy, a storm on the horizon, the pressure is low, gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls, we're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls, we're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see, prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities, we're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls, we're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Let's get this show on the road. Hello, everyone. Guess what? It's Monday. It's Monday morning, Monday afternoon. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates, guys. This is Ron Tyler. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. Welcome to our show, guys. It's going to be a fun show tonight. Now, I have some information for you, but I failed to put it up on our screen here. Give me just a second. I'll do that for you. But I'm going to answer a question right off the bat about an airliner over Utah. Okay? United Airlines airliner over Utah. Big deal. Huge deal. Okay? Huge deal. Okay? Airliner hit by space debris, allegedly. Okay? But this happens. I believe it's happened before now. But until this weekend, this is the first image that we have of what happened. Or I shouldn't say even image, but this is the first telltale signs of what we know. Okay? Because it's not told to us what's happening. They don't come right out and say, oh, an airliner got hit by space debris. A building got hit by space debris. Usually what happens is we have a a building or space debris that launches into the earth out in the middle of a desert, out in the mountains, out in the middle of Russia and Mongolia. Well, guess what? It hit an airliner this time. An airliner. Let me bring up the picture for you here. Just a second. Oh, gosh, come on. Let me do this. There's a picture I want to show you. Okay? Allegedly over Utah, guys. United Airlines plane, a passenger plane. Okay? Government investigators are gathering evidence right now, gathering data to confirm what exactly cracked the windshield of a 757 MAX aircraft at about 30,000 feet. Okay? The National Air Transportation Board Safety Board said it confirmed yesterday that it is investigating an airliner that was struck by an object in its windscreen mid-flight over Utah. The NTSB is gathering radar, weather, flight recorder data. The agency said it's going to be coming out with more information soon. The windscreen is being sent to the NTSB laboratories in Washington, D.C. for examination. Okay? The strike occurred on Thursday during a United Airlines flight from Denver to Los Angeles because it hit the airliner's windscreen. The windscreen is what protects airliner windshields from completely shattering. Okay? Images show on social media that two large windows at the front of the 737 MAX aircraft were significantly cracked. Related images also reveal a pilot's arm has been cut multiple times by what appear to be small shards of glass. Okay? The object's origin has not been confirmed. The captain of the flight has reportedly described the object that hit the plane as space debris. Okay? Again, the captain of the flight has reportedly described the object that hit the plane as space debris. Reportedly. This has not been confirmed. After the impact, because the windscreen got hit and there was shards of glass that cut the pilot's arm, that plane landed almost immediately. Okay? The plane can't continue to its destination after it's gotten hit, especially the windscreen. Okay? Images of the strike showed that an object made a forceful impact near the upper right part of the window, showing damage to the middle frame. Because aircraft windows are multi-layers thick, which laminate in between. The windows are multi-layers thick, and there's a lamination in between those that holds the glass together. That is why the window did not completely shatter and break and expose the pilots and the other passengers to immediate depressurization. Okay? The aircraft was flying at above 30,000 feet, likely around 36 to 40,000 feet high. And the cockpit apparently maintained its cabin pressure. So was it space debris? Nobody knows. It's almost impossible to know what it might have been without more data. Very few species of birds fly above 30,000 feet. However, the world's highest flying bird, which is Ruppel's vulture, is found mainly in Africa. So it was not a vulture. Okay? An unregulated weather balloon is also a possibility, but it's not clear whether the velocity would have been high enough to cause this kind of damage. Okay? Assuming that the Shohei Ohtani home run ball was hit from way out in Japan or China, and it didn't go high enough to 36 to 40,000 feet high. It wasn't a baseball. It was not a baseball. The only potential damage caused could have been from a spacecraft, space debris. There's plenty of that. There are over 100,000 pieces of space debris in orbit around the whole world, around the Earth. Now, after what happened, the initial conclusion of the pilot, a meteor is more likely than space debris. Estimates vary, but a recent study in the journal Geology found that there are 17,000 meteorites that strike the Earth in a given year. That it's possibly on the order of a magnitude greater than the amount of human-made space debris that survives re-entry through the Earth's atmosphere. A careful analysis of the glass and the metal impacted by the object should be able to reveal its origin. Again, the NTSB is saying that a careful analysis of the glass and the metal object impacted by the object, the metal and the glass of the window was impacted by the object should be able to reveal its origin. They're going to run scientific and even chemical tests on this windshield. But that's what happened on Thursday as the aircraft was going into Los Angeles, but had to be diverted from Denver to Salt Lake City. Okay, that's what happened. Okay, it was on its way to Los Angeles and had to be diverted to Salt Lake City. This is a big deal. Yes, there have been other airplanes, airliners that have been impacted from various debris throughout the ages of airline flight. But this is the first time at this high altitude. Unfortunately, it was out of Denver. Okay, but it quickly came down in Utah, in Salt Lake City International Airport. Okay, mid-flight. They got lucky. I should say we got lucky. It could have been even more dangerous than it was. Okay. Now, Rich Quake is talking about the 5.0 earthquake in the Dominican Republic. Guess what? I believe it was much higher, larger earthquake than that. Let me show you why. Let me show you why. Okay. Actually, this is not the one I want to show you. Hold on a second. This is the one I want to show you. Okay. There's actually been 4 earthquakes here. There have been 4 earthquakes in the Dominican Republic, and this is in the southeastern Dominican Republic, guys. The southeastern Dominican Republic. And yes, this is also a big deal. Okay? Rich said it was a 5.0 earthquake, but guess what? The European agency is saying otherwise. Look at the data here. Okay? The original earthquake in the southeastern Dominican Republic hit at approximately 4:13 this afternoon in the Dominican Republic Eastern Time. 4:13 this afternoon Eastern Time. Okay, a 5.5. 5.5, guys. Well, guess what? 3 minutes later, another 5.0. 2 minutes later, another 5.3. Then, 3 minutes later, another 5.2. Okay, it was not a 5.0 earthquake at all. It was a 5.5 earthquake with 3 aftershocks. was a 5.5 very large earthquake with 3 aftershocks. One of them being a 5.0, the other being a 5.3, and the other being a 5.2. Again, this is another example of the USBS lying to us. This is another very solid example of the USBS lying to us. It's not a 5.0. Let me bring up the image of the USGS map here so we can go over and take a look at it. It's very evident what they do. Let me take down our EMA banner here. Let's take down our webcam as well. I want to show you this. This is over in the Aleutian Islands first. Before we go into the Aleutian Islands, let's scroll over here and pick up the Dominican Island earthquake right here. Actually, it's more central, south central in the Dominican Republic than southeast. Okay, this they say here was a 5.0 earthquake. But again, they're not giving you all the evidence as I showed you. This was a 5.5 earthquake. This was very much a 5.5 earthquake here. Okay, again, this agency has had a habit of lying. Complete barefaced lying. Okay, I hate saying that. Okay, I've talked about this before. I hate to talk about it now. But this is what happens. Unfortunately, this is what happens. Now, this is not all, folks. There's more. There's a lot more. Okay, I want to show you another slide here. Let me bring this up. Over in the Aleutian Islands. Okay, I brought up the USGS map. Yes, I'm going to show this to you as well. Okay, let's cycle back over here to the Aleutian Islands here. Okay, again, look here. Yes, we've had an earthquake in the Aleutian Islands. Okay, this is a large 5.0 earthquake. I've got all the data here to show what's going on here. Okay, that's where it's at. Over near the Adak, Alaska area. Okay, this is 44 miles southwest of Adak. Let me enlarge this other earthquake data here. I want to show you this. Okay, the first earthquake that struck here was a 4.9 this morning. Okay. Actually, I'm sorry, it was this afternoon at 2:45 this afternoon. Okay. It was struck at 4.9. Okay. Then, within seconds, another 5.0. Literally within seconds after that, another 5.0. Okay. 3 seconds later, another 5.0. It's incredible how this goes on. Just barely over a minute later, we have another 5.0 earthquake. Then after that, okay, we go back to approximately 7 seconds later. We have another 4.8. After that, almost 1 minute and 1 second later, a 4.9. There was more than just one 5.0, guys. Earthquake came out as a 4.9. Then there were 2, 4, 6 other aftershocks. Okay, so the 4.9 was a foreshock. The 4.9 was a foreshock. Then we repeatedly got hit with more, or 4 aftershocks being, actually 4 primary shocks being 5.0. Then 2 other aftershocks being 4.8 and 4.9. We had a foreshock, then we had 4 5.0s back to back. We've seen those thick lines on the USGS maps before, or not on the maps, but on the seismograms, multi back-to-back earthquake hits. Okay? We've seen those thicker horizontal lines, or not thicker horizontal, thicker vertical lines. Okay? That's what happened here. 4 5.0 earthquakes hit. Then we had a 4.8 and another 4.9 aftershock. Incredible. USGS is trying to say, oh, there's only one earthquake. There's only one earthquake. Really? You can't prove it by me. Can't prove it by me. But folks, these are not the only large earthquakes that have hit. These are not only the large earthquakes that have hit here. Before I show you the other large earthquakes, let's go over the Kamchatka Peninsula. USGS says we've only had one 4.8 earthquake hit. Really? Off the southeastern peninsula of Russia, Kamchatka, Russia. I had to take exception to that. Why? Because there's been a lot more. Okay, quite a few more. We have to take a look at the exact imagery to get a real picture of what exactly happened here. Okay, let me bring up my webcam again. Let me show you what actually happened at the Kamchatka Peninsula. Okay. Here's a 4.8. Okay. 2 other aftershocks here. 4.4 and a 4.6. There's a 4.6, and the other one just north of there is a 4. That's a 4.6, and just above it, just north of there, is a 4.4. So they're showing the 4.8, but they're not showing the other aftershocks. Typical of USPS. Sad. This is very sad. Look here in the Kuril Islands, guys. The central Kuril Islands right here. We've also had another 4.0 here. They're not showing that either. Wonderful agency, huh? Down here in Western Japan, they're showing us another 5.1. Okay, a 5.1 earthquake over here in West Central Japan. This is another big deal. Okay, it's over here in the western mountains of Japan. Well, guess what's over here on the coast? People live here. Now, this happened earlier this afternoon at approximately 3:04 this afternoon. But the problem is this, okay? It's happened so recently, we have no data of injuries or damage from this quake. Japan regularly has earthquakes this large. They plan for them. Their structures are built for them. There may not be damage, or maybe it's just slight. But another 5.1 earthquake here. Okay? There's other smaller cities and towns all over this area. Unreal. Right here, for example. This is the town of Mori, Yokomaga, Tanashima. I can't pronounce the other areas or suburbs of this town, but there's towns all over this area here. They felt this quake as well, not far from it. Another town just south there, right here. Izazu. I-S-A-Z-U. Izu. I can't even pronounce it. Izahu. I'm sorry. You folks that speak Japanese, or you folks that might be listening, they're Japanese, or watching this, I can't pronounce the names of your town, but I have my friends that have been there and lived there. They could probably pronounce it just fine. Unreal. But this happened this afternoon. But again, it's not the only earthquake that hit here. South of Japan. There's been another 2.8 minor earthquake here earlier last night. 10:23 p.m. last night, a 2.8 earthquake hits here south of Japan. Unreal. We don't hear about, do we? Not at all. Not at all. Let's go over here to the Philippines. We've seen a lot of earthquakes here in the Philippines recently, right here offshore. This is a 5.0 earthquake here, offshore from Luzon, Philippines. But guess what, folks? There's more. Here's the 3.7 with it. 3.7 just north there. Look where it's at. It's on the Western Philippine fault line. Western Philippine fault line going up to Taiwan, isn't it? Yeah. And here's a 4.5, 4.9 here. Yes, I say a 4.5, 4.9 because that's exactly what happened. Two earthquakes here, 4.5 and 4.9 right there. Okay. Then we go down here to the Central Philippines. Why is this important? Because, guys, we've had a large number of earthquakes, and we've also had large magnitude earthquakes here. Let's take a look at this, okay? Let me do something here. See Logazapi City here? Over here on the east side of the island, we have a 3.0 earthquake here. 3.0 earthquake. Now we go over to the island that sustained damage from the last earthquake. Over here to the south part of that island here, okay? Look at this. Right here, we have another 3.1. Interesting. Also here, let me zoom out. I want to show you what's going on here, okay? They're not showing anything going on, are they? Not anything, okay? We've also had another 3.5 earthquake here near Bogo. This is where we saw the 7.3 earthquake here. Bogo, Japan, or Bogo, Philippines. Okay, that's a 3.5. Right next to it is another 3.5 earthquake there. Then we come further south here, also on that same island. This is the 3.0. Okay, we have earthquakes that USGS doesn't want to show. Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid they tell us the truth. I hate talking about this. I used to be someone that praised USGS when I was in college. Now they don't tell us the truth. Now they don't even show half the earthquakes that they used to. Over here on the eastern side of Davao, Philippines, actually Mindanao, Philippines, Davao City is over here on the southern side of Mindanao, Philippines island here. Out here on the eastern Philippine earthquake fault. Look at that, a huge earthquake fault here. Guess what we have? This is a 5.8 very large earthquake. This is a 5.8 very large earthquake, and it's very shallow. It's 6.2 miles deep. 6.2 miles deep. Remember here, we also had a 7.4 earthquake just about a week and a half ago. Now we have another 5.8 aftershock. Interesting how that happens, right? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Down here in northern Indonesia here, just south of the Philippines. This is a 3.2 earthquake. This is a 3.2 earthquake. Just south there, we have a 3.0. South of there, we have a 3.5. To the right of that quake, just to the east, this is a 3.9, 4.0. The accuracy of the predominant seismic agency of the world can't even show us these earthquakes. Or should I say, they don't want to. I hate doing this. I despise doing this. But we have to be honest with the world. We have to be honest with the world. Over here in central Philippines here, or not Philippines, central Indonesia, we have another large 5.0 earthquake. Now here in Indonesia, not everybody has money, especially these people here on these islands, outlying islands here. They don't have much money. We had another large earthquake here, okay? 5.0 earthquake today. Not a 2.0, not a 1.9 tremor, not even a 1.5 tremor, but a large 5.0 earthquake. USGS tries to panhandle it off as a moderate earthquake. It's not. Large earthquakes cause damage. In this particular case, because people don't have much money, it devastates their lives. It devastates their lives. That's why I want to show you these. I'm trying to get to the point where USGS is going to go back to work and actually report earthquakes, not try to panhandle them off and downgrade them. That's what they get away with. Now down here off the shore of this island here, here's another 3.6. There are a total of 28 earthquakes here in Indonesia. 28 earthquakes here in Indonesia. And what are they showing? Let me back this out. They're showing us 5 earthquakes. This is a 5.0 earthquake here. Here's another one. This is out in the Seram Sea. SEARAMC. 5.0 earthquake. Okay. But off to the east of there, out here, there's another 5.0 earthquake there that they don't want to show us. I hate it. I hate it. The very agency I used to praise and think highly of can't report anything. They don't want to. It's almost despising. It's almost despising. Now, that first one I showed you was in Florida C. Okay? Let's go over towards Java, Indonesia. Java, Indonesia right here. Here we have a 4.8 earthquake, East Java. 4.8 earthquake here. Interesting. South there, right here, we have another 4.8 earthquake here. Interesting. Just west of there, we have another 3.2. Also here, we have a 2.8, just west of that. Okay? Then over in western Java, Indonesia itself, right over here near just south of Jakarta here. This is a 2.6. You might be asking me why I'm showing these to you. The simple answer is this. I showed them to you before. I want to show you what these people are having to go through. No, minor earthquakes 2.0, 2.9 cannot be felt, but these other earthquakes can be. Let's go over to Central Sumatra here. Right up here in Central Sumatra. This is a 3.0 over here. Central Sumatra. Go over off the west coast, over into the Indian Ocean, we have a 3.3 earthquake. On the Indonesian plate. The edge of the plate here, guys. The edge of the plate. Let me pull this over. You can see the edge of the plate here. Going north on land, just over here, just off the coast, here is another 2.6 minor earthquake. But off the coast to the west, this is a 3.6 felt quake, small quake. To the north, right up here to the north, this is a 3.5. Okay? No, the earthquakes out in the ocean cannot be felt. They can't be felt. This is one of the barrier islands of Indonesia. This 3.0 hit on land. This earthquake hit on the island. Okay? 3.5 earthquake. 3.5 earthquake. Let me show you something. There's a city here. Unfortunately, they're not able to. I'm sorry, there's a city right here. These people felt that earthquake. Those people felt the earthquake. Okay? 3.5 earthquake here. they felt that earthquake. Now the 3.0, 3.9 is unlikely even to do damage, but they felt it. Linda Covington is saying, aren't most USGS employees on leave due to federal shutdown? Yes, they are. But their computers generate this earthquake data. The USGS has not been reporting it. Yes, they're on leave, but their computers generate the data and they're not even showing these earthquakes. That's what I'm talking about. They don't show the earthquakes at all. Rarely do they ever. Out of all the earthquakes that are here, they're only showing 5 earthquakes. Did you know there's 2 earthquakes over here in Western Australia? 2 earthquakes here in Western Australia. Fancy that. Northwestern Australia, let me show you this. Right here. Here's a 2.49, 3.0 earthquake. South there. South are right here. We have a 2.85. They never hardly show any earthquakes here in Australia. They're not showing them now, they don't ever. Okay? That's my problem. We have people from all parts of the world that watch this program. They deserve to see this information because otherwise they're not showing anything. There's a philosophy in this world that if it's not shown on the map, it doesn't exist. If it's not reported by the agency, it doesn't exist. I've shown you a lot of earthquakes today that yes, they do exist. United States Geological Survey hardly ever reports anything here in New Zealand. There are other earthquakes here. Not as many earthquakes that we usually see, but there are earthquakes here. There's even an earthquake on the South Island. The South Island down here in South Park, New Zealand, or not South Park, but Southland, New Zealand, this is a 2.73. Over in north part of the South Island here, West Coast, Mokikiuni, this is the 3.2. Between the islands here is a body of water called the Cook Strait. This is a 2.62. Almost all the earthquakes on the North Island are all 2s, 2.2s, 2.6s, 2.4s, 2.8s. Down here on the south part of that island, North Island, here's a 2.45. .45 just north of Wellington. Now, we also have a supervolcano here. We have a supervolcano right here. Right there. It's Lake Topo. Topo volcano. A supervolcano. Just on the outskirts, on the western side of Topo volcano, we have a 2.63 earthquake. Look where that earthquake fault coming out of Fiji goes through. Right through the center of the North Island of New Zealand, and right down the center of the volcano. the Fiji earthquake fault. North of the volcano, 2 more earthquakes, a 3.0 and a 2.5. 3.0 and a 2.5 right there. Going north. Go north over here. Okay. This is over in Realtor Forest, New Zealand. This is a 2.24 earthquake here. Southeast of there is a 2.2 earthquake there. Let's go out into the Bay of Plenty here. The Bay of Plenty, we have 4 earthquakes here. This is a 3.35. Going north, this is a 2.66. A little bit further north, this is a 2.24 and a 2.54. And one more. This is a 2.58 here. Out here north of the Bay of Plenty here. North of the Bay of Plenty. They're not showing anything here. Nothing. You see this fault line coming out of Fiji here? This fault line out to the west here goes all the way through Fiji, comes down here into the Bay of Plenty, and cuts through the North Island of New Zealand. Then the earthquake fault coming out of Tonga. This earthquake fault coming out of Tonga here, right here. It runs all the way down here through the Kermadec Islands, also down here into the North Island of New Zealand. But it runs down the other side here. It runs down the other side over here on the east side. What everybody may not know is this is a subduction zone. A subduction zone where 2 plates come together like this. One plate going over the other like this. When this happens, we have earthquakes, right? Over here in New Zealand, it frequently happens here, the same area. But what most people don't know is within the next 25 years, they are expecting an 8.0 earthquake here. They're expecting an 8.0 earthquake here off the eastern shore of the North Island of New Zealand. Major subduction earthquake, similar to Cascadia. Major subduction earthquake here. The Indo-Australian plate is being subducted by the Pacific plate. The Pacific plate going underneath the Indo-Australian plate like this. That's what's going to happen here. Yes, it moves by centimeters a year, by about 7 centimeters a year. Yes, we've seen 3.5s, we've seen 5.0s here in the last even few weeks. It's going to happen again. Possibly even a larger quake here. Want to make people aware of it because nobody else is talking about it. Nobody. Hardly anybody's talking about this earthquake in the Dominican Republic except Rich on our channel. It wasn't just one 5.0, it was multiple 5.0 earthquakes. 4.8 foreshock, 3 5.0 main shockers, then a 4.8 and a 4.7 aftershock. Interesting. USGS doesn't show but one. The Dominican Republic got rocked this afternoon. Now, well, we got them here before they're removed. I want to show you what's going on here in the northeastern part of the US and Canada. I want to show you this. This is interesting. Here's New Jersey, right here. This is Caliphone, New Jersey. This is a 1.6 tremor here. If you remember here, about 2 years ago, we had another 5.0 earthquake here. Another 5.0 earthquake here. This is a tremor, another aftershock. But this area of New York and New Jersey has been rocking. It has recently been rocking. I want to make everybody aware of what's happening here. Okay? What did we talk about recently down here over in Antarctica here? Over here in South Antarctica here. What happened? We had a 7.8 earthquake. We had numerous 7.4, 7.5, 7.6 earthquakes here in the Drake Passage prior to that. When that earthquake hit over here last week in the Antarctic Ridge, I said that that seismic energy was going to go east and then going west. Why? Because that energy followed that Antarctic Ridge over here to the Mid-Atlantic Fault. It followed here. Let me go up here further north. Over in the central Mid-Atlantic today, right here, we had another 4.6 earthquake. Now, I'm very surprised it was only a 4.6 earthquake because that earthquake down on the Antarctic Ridge was a 7.8. Yeah, it's a big deal. The seismic energy from that 7.8 is migrating. Now, we only see a 4.6 here. Okay? It might get bigger after this. We could have a stronger quake to the south, or we could have another stronger quake in this area right here in the central Atlantic, central Mid-Atlantic. It can happen. But what they're not showing us, unfortunately, they're not showing us what's happened in Iceland today. See this large ice sheet here called Bardarbunga volcano? Great big huge glacier over Bardarbunga volcano. Look what's happened there. 10 plus earthquakes at the Bardarbunga volcano today. We've had numerous earthquakes here in the last week. Sometimes USGS tells us about one or two of them, but that's about all. There's more. There's more. Look at this. .9, 3.0, 3.5, 2.2, 2.2, 2.6, 3.3. .6, 4.5. 4.5 probably at the summit of the volcano. That's usually the case. 4.5 moderate earthquake here. Okay. Here's a 2.6. Going north. 3.4, 3.3, 2.3. And out here a little bit to the east, a 2.8 earthquake here. Okay? Don't you think people in Iceland deserve to know what's going on? Yes, the Iceland Meteorological Agency probably talks about it, but no one else does. It just wasn't 10 plus earthquakes here either. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 earthquakes here. 13 earthquakes here. Interesting. Interesting. Because nobody else is talking about it. Then up to the north, up to the southwest here, we have a 2.8 here. They're not showing that either. Then down here on the Reykjanes Peninsula, right down here. And this again is important. Okay? This is important because we are expecting a volcanic eruption here. We are expecting a volcanic eruption here. This is a 2.1 earthquake on the same fault zone, the Mid-Atlantic Fault. The Mid-Atlantic Fault goes through here. This is a 2.0 earthquake here. Now we have had volcanic eruptions just to the south there, right down here. We have earthquakes here because of the magma has come up here to the north. We believe that there's going to be another volcanic eruption any day now here in Iceland. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. Sharon is here in the chat. She also goes by Sleeping Volcano sometimes. She's been very sick, guys. She's been very sick in recent past. We need to pray for her. Here she's telling Dawn that she was so sick the day before, she slept for over 14 hours. I've had that happen myself. Don, thank you for being here, brother. Appreciate you. He's picking up his son at Salt Lake City International in probably the next hour or so. So God bless you, Don. God bless your son. God bless your entire family. We love and appreciate you. Sharon Bolam, God bless you as well. We love and appreciate you very much. Love and appreciate you very much. Sharon's been an asset to our program. Sharon has been in charge of our Quakes and Volcanoes Facebook Messenger thread. She continues to put that information on the thread. I can only remember maybe once or twice when she was sick, she couldn't do it because she needed to sleep. I want to thank Sharon for her service. I want to thank her for being my friend, my sister as well. God bless you. Picoisis prayers as well. Thank you. God bless you all. But going up here into Canada, right here, Lively, Canada. Interesting to know where it's at. Right here on the shoreline of the lake. The Great Lake here. This is over near, they say it's 2 miles northwest of Lively, Canada. This is a 3.0 small earthquake. 3.0 small earthquake. It doesn't appear necessarily that close to lively. It might be. It might be near lively. Just a second, guys. Good. That's happening here in Canada, just north of the Great Lake. Interesting. Actually, I believe this is the first quake we've had in this area right here for a very long time. 3.0 earthquake up here in southeastern Canada. Okay. We also had that other earthquake over in New Jersey, and I believe that's an aftershock of a 5.0 earthquake from 2 years ago. Earthquakes continue to hit. Over here on the Pneumatic Fault, this near Biscoe, Missouri. This is a 2.3 earthquake here. 2.3 minor earthquake here. Now I want to say this. We've talked about the Pneumatic Fault before. We've shown you seismograms, showing you what exactly is happening on the Pneumatic Fault. Guess what? This is just one more earthquake here. They're not showing us all the earthquakes here on the Pneumatic Fault at all. This is over here in the center part of the Pneumatic Fault in Missouri. Right just on the north side of Arkansas in southern Missouri. 2.3 minor earthquake, but it's not the only earthquake here. Again, the agency is not reporting all the earthquakes in this area. They're not reporting all the earthquakes in this area. They never do. As I've said before, the Pneumatic Fault is ready to go. It's building up energy. In the past week, I've shown you seismograms here on the Pneumatic Fault showing upwards of 3.5, 3.7 earthquakes here. 3 years ago, when you guys asked me about it, guess what? There was hardly anything. You guys would ask me, Ron, what's going on with the Pneumatic Fault? Oh, nothing, just tremors, just minor tremors. Yes, it was true. 1.2, 1.5, 1.7 and microquakes as well. That was 3 years ago. Now, what are we seeing here? We're seeing 2.5, 2.7, 3.0, 3.1, 3.2, 3.5, 3.7 earthquakes on the Pneumatic Fault. Just in the past 2 years, it's gone from tremors to minor earthquakes to small earthquakes as well. As I said, I believe we're going to have a major earthquake on the Pneumatic Fault probably within the next 2 years. I don't think it's going to go much more than that. And I read an article Saturday saying the scientists are now saying the same thing, that the Pneumatic Fault will probably give it up over the next 2 years. So what am I saying? Anyone living in this area, including over near St. Louis, Chicago, Indiana, Evansville, Indiana, the state capital. Get ready. Over in Indiana, the state capital, Evansville, Indiana University, they shut off the seismograph at that university. Shut it down. That's because they were reporting earthquakes that nobody wanted to show. They've now shut it down. We keep showing you earthquakes here in Missouri. We showed them to you from Oklahoma. We showed you Arkansas. We showed you earthquakes here in Tennessee, Memphis, Ridgely, all over here. We showed you earthquakes here in Kentucky, Mississippi, and Arkansas, and even as far south as Louisiana, DeRidder, Louisiana. We showed you tremors in DeRidder. We've shown you minor earthquakes in DeRidder. And last week we showed you a 3.5 earthquake in DeRidder, Louisiana, the southernmost part of the Pneumatic Fault. As I said, it's gone from tremors, microquakes and tremors, up to minor, small earthquakes. And now it's even closing in on a 4.5 earthquake here on the Pneumatic Fault. I believe that's what we're going to see next. We're going to see a major earthquake on the Pneumatic Fault within the next 2 years. Let's go out over here to the west here. Okay? Southwestern Texas. Here's a 2.0 in Big Spring, Texas here. 2.0 in Big Spring, Texas. This is a 2.5 in Westbrook, Texas. Further over here to the west, right here. Here we just got through having a new earthquake. This is 1.7 tremor. This is a swarm of tremors. 1.7, 2.0 earthquake. This is 1.7 here. This is a 2.0 earthquake here. This is 1.8. This is a 2.6. This is 1.7. Okay? Guess what? Toyah, Texas, El Paso, Texas, this whole area is moving. This is south of New Mexico. USGS is reporting this as southern New Mexico. It's not. It's south of New Mexico here. Southwestern Texas. Swarms of earthquakes hitting. Tremors and minor earthquakes here. This is a 1.7 tremor here. This is a 1.6 here. For the south. Toyah 1.6 here. By the way, this 1.6 was west-northwest of Toyah, Texas. Over here, this is 30 miles northwest of Toyah. This is a 1.7 tremor. Here's a 1.8 tremor. 27 miles northwest of Toyah, Texas. Interesting. The whole place is moving. The whole place is moving. As seismic energy comes off of the Pacific Plate, seismic energy comes off the Pacific Plate, ladies and gentlemen, comes over here to California. Then it flows east away from California. Nevada, Arizona, some parts of Colorado, New Mexico, and Texas. Yeah. All kinds of seismic energy. That's what's happening here. The seismic energy comes over here and finds drill points. Drill points. Drill points, guys. These are oil and gas earthquakes. Oil and gas fracking earthquakes. Every one of them. When the seismic energy is traveling east, comes over here and finds these man-made drill points, holes in the ground, trying to pull oil out of the ground, finds these drill points and fractures the rock in the holes, causing earth movement. That's what we're seeing here. The seismic energy comes from the west over here towards the east, comes into Texas, and causes these earthquakes. Okay? What they're not reporting is we're also seeing earthquakes throughout Texas, all the way over here in eastern Texas. It's happening. I can prove it. Seismic energy comes over here through Arkansas, all the way through here to Arkansas, over here to the New Mountain Fault. Hits New Mountain Fault, causes fracturing, more fracturing, earth movement. Not only does the New Mountain Fault have seismic energy come from the west, the New Mountain Fault also has energy coming from the east, with the Mid-Atlantic Fault putting pressure on the East Coast. All kinds of earthquakes are hitting here, including that one in New Jersey. I've shown you earthquakes here in Virginia. I've shown you earthquakes throughout the eastern side of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. Georgia, guys, going all the way over here to Atlanta, to Alabama, over here in Mississippi. Again, putting pressure on the east side of the New Madrid. It's no small wonder that we are having earthquakes here on the New Madrid Fault. With all that energy pressing on it, that's why we're having earthquakes. The central part of the United States. Here on the West Coast, USGS is only showing a handful of earthquakes here. Handful of earthquakes here. This is western Imperial Valley here, over near Ocotillo Wells. 1.1 tremor here. Just over here on the western side of the Salton Sea. This is a 1.0 tremor 8 miles south-southwest of the Salton Sea. 8 miles south-southwest of Salton City. Salton City is right here on the northwestern shores of the Salton Sea. 8 miles south-southwest, we have this earthquake, 1.0 tremor. USGS has this as south-southeast of the Salton Sea. It's not. It's on the western side of the Salton Sea. How could it be south-southeast? No way. No way. False reporting again by the agency. Over here, new earthquake just happened. Here we have a 1.0 tremor over here near, just northeast of Lake Henshaw. Northeast of Lake Henshaw. Lake Henshaw is just miles away, like 5 miles east of Escondido, California. I used to live here in Escondido. I fished Lake Henshaw. I've shown you tremors and earthquakes hitting here around Lake Henshaw. 1.0 tremor here. Interesting. Let's go up here to the north. Palomar Observatory. Palomar Observatory, guys. Both these earthquakes are on, guess what? The San Jacinto Fault. The San Jacinto Fault. This is a 0.7 microquake at Palomar Observatory. The Hale Telescope at Palomar Observatory. The 0.7 microquake. Yes, they have microquakes, they have tremors, and they have 2.0 earthquakes here at Palomar Mountain. All the time. All the time. Let's go up here to the San Andreas Fault. This is Idlewild, California, in the western side of the San Bernardino Mountains. 0.8 microquake. Further north here is 0.7. Interesting. Let's back out here. That's on the San Jacinto. Up here on the San Andres here, Yucaipa. This is a 1.0 tremor here in Yucaipa, California. Further over here to the north and west, Loma Linda. This is a 0.8 microquake in Loma Linda, California, just south of Loma Linda University, south of Loma Linda Medical Center, the world-renowned medical center here. Right there. Loma Linda, California, guys. North of there also here, Little Creek, California. But we've also had one earthquake that's brand new, just happened. Home Gardens, California. This is a 1.4 tremor here. 1.4 tremor just west of Lake Matthews. Okay? Interesting here. This just east of El Cerrito, California. 1.4 tremor here. But what they're not showing you are regular earthquakes, not just microquakes, not just tremors, but 2.0 to 3.5, 4.0 earthquakes happening here in Los Angeles here. I can guarantee you they're happening. I shown you the seismograms last week. Small, minor, and upwards of 4.0 moderate earthquakes here in Los Angeles. More are coming. More earthquakes are coming. They're hardly showing any earthquakes here on the San Andres, but I can show you them from our seismograms, which we'll show you either tomorrow or Wednesday. Real earthquakes happening here. They're just not showing it. Go figure. Pear Blossom, California, also on the San Andreas, 1.1 tremor. Southeast of Santa Barbara, Fillmore, California, 2.0 minor earthquake. Fascinating. They're not showing any earthquakes here between the San Francisco Bay Area and Santa Barbara. There are. Over here, Saratoga, California, just south of San Jose. This is a 1.5 tremor here. Over on the Hayward Fault, just east of the San Francisco Bay Area. This is Lafayette, California, 1.31 tremor. 1.31 tremor here on the Hayward. Remember the Hayward, guys? The 6.9, 7.1 earthquake here in the San Francisco Bay Area, 1989, October, during the first part of the World Series here. Interrupt the World Series here. This is probably an aftershock. However, the Hayward Fault is ramping up again. This is a 2.2 in Vallejo, California. 2.2 in Vallejo, California. Also on the Hayward. Just a couple weeks ago over here in Berkeley, California, right down here. We had a 4.5 earthquake here. It's very likely we'll see it again very soon. The Hayward Fault is moving. It's moving fast. It's ramping up for another large earthquake. Going north here, we need to talk about this. Okay? The geysers, guys. Again, these earthquakes are due from seismic energy coming off the Pacific plate, coming over here to the San Andreas Fault area. Okay? This is east of the San Andreas. Okay? Now, comes over here to the North American plate, North American craton. Seismic energy traveling from the Pacific plate over here to the North American plate. Comes over here where we have more drill points. Why? Because we've had women and men drilling into the upper magma chambers of a volcano. They drilled into the magma chambers of this volcano right here, the Clear Lake volcano. Yes, we have earthquakes at the Clear Lake volcano. North of Clear Lake up here, we have another 1.4 tremor in Talmadge, California. Down here in the geysers, where these holes in the ground are. These holes in the ground that are pulling steam from the Clear Lake volcano to power turbines here in the geysers facility. The geysers facility, guys, all throughout this area, there are earthquakes. There are PVC pipe that carry the steam from the drill points over to turbine facilities here. Turbine facilities like this one here. The pipes run along from the drill points, run alongside the roadways here in the geysers facility, and transfer the steam to the turbines to generate electricity here in Sonoma Valley, California. Sonoma County, wine country. There are 81 different turbines in this facility. It's huge. We typically see anywhere from 20 to 30 earthquakes and sometimes more, upwards of 50 earthquakes a day here in the geysers facility. As a result of those drill points. It's not just oil and gas, it's also steam drill points. Okay, seismic energy finds those drill points and fractures rock at the drill point, in the hole, causing earthquakes. That's what's going on here. Okay, going further north, over here, in the southern part of the Cascadia region. The southern part of the Cascadia region here. Okay? This earthquake here is in Petrolia, California. Petrolia, California, guys. The southern side of the fault. The southern side of the Cascadia fault line. Still part of the Cascadia subduction zone region. This earthquake here is on the Mendocino Fault here, running eastward from the San Andreas and the Gorda Escarpment here. The Mendocino Fault, it's a 1.4 tremor here. Okay? But not to be outdone. We don't see any earthquakes here in Oregon again. None. There are earthquakes here, I guarantee you. Okay? Going over here, over to Mount St. Helens. Earlier today, they showed one tremor here. One tremor. They say this is a minus 0.1, which says it should be above sea level. This is not above sea level. This is 4.5 miles deep inside the magma chamber of Mount St. Helens volcano. This is USGS not trying to take responsibility for what is happening here at the volcano. They're showing you microquakes here when there are tremors. There are minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9. There are also 3.5 and 4.0 earthquakes hitting Mount St. Helens every day. This is not a minus 0.1 microquake above sea level. It's down deep within the volcano. There are hundreds of microquakes every day. They say this is a 0.1 earthquake here, 1 mile deep. 1 mile deep. 5,280 feet deep, not above sea level. North of Mount St. Helens, the northern foothills of Mount St. Helens. They say this is a minus 0.7 as well. This is 2 miles deep, just over 2 miles deep. Right here, they say this is also 0.7. This is 1.8 miles deep, just north of Mount St. Helens. One more earthquake here. One more earthquake here. Right there. Rifle Lake. This is a 0.6 microquake, 14 miles deep. 14 miles deep. There's more. In the southern peninsula, the southern Olympic Peninsula here, this is a 1.2 tremor near Snohomish, Washington. 24 miles deep. Closer to the Puget Sound here is Quilcene, Washington. Another 0.7 tremor here. Fascinating. Mountain here, they're not showing anything going on. What's up with that? What's up with that? Going north over to Glacier Peak. This is just offside of Glacier Peak. A 0.2 microquake here near Concrete, Washington, near Glacier Peak. Right up here, near Glacier Peak. There is seismic energy. One more thing I want to show you is up here in Canada, Princeton, Canada. Princeton, Canada. Usually the USGS says, oh, these are quarry blasts. Not a quarry blast at all. Today they're saying that it's an explosion. An explosion, guys. This time it's not in a forested area. So this time it's not in a spontaneous combustion carnivorous exploding tree. We jokingly called it an exploding tree. However, this is southeast of a quarry. This is not an explosion. Not an explosion. This is a tremor. Actually, it's a minor earthquake. 2.0 minor earthquake. 2.0 minor earthquake here. They try to call it explosions. I'm proving that they're wrong. USGS, if you guys are watching, you guys got the day off. They haven't paid you in over 2 weeks now. I think this is 19 days. Maybe they ought to pay you. Maybe you come to your senses here and actually report earthquakes. Yeah. Interesting. Supposedly 38 people watching us. Fascinating. Let's go up here to Alaska. Real briefly up here to Alaska. Just north of Denali National Park. Salt, Alaska. This is a 3.1 small earthquake. 3.1 salt earthquake here near Salt, Alaska. We've had 5.0 earthquakes here in Salta before. This may be a 3.1 aftershock. More earthquakes north there near Fairbanks. This is a 1.8 tremor here near North Pole, Alaska. 5 miles north of North Pole, Alaska. Closer to Fairbanks here, a 1.9 2.0 earthquake. North of Fairbanks, we have a 1.3 tremor here. Interesting. What's happening here west of Fairbanks? This is 1.2 tremor. This is a 2.0 earthquake. 2.0 earthquake here. Let's go back here to Denali, Alaska. Right here. This over here on the west side of Denali. USGS is saying this is on the southwest side of Denali. It's not. This is the northwest side of Denali National Park. This is a 2.4 earthquake. Over here to the west, 1.7. They're not showing any earthquakes at all here in Denali Park itself. Denali National Park itself. Let's go south here over near Valdez, Alaska. This is west-northwest of Valdez here. This is a 1.8 tremor. North of this is a 1.6. On the south side of Valdez, this is a 2.7 earthquake. 2.7 minor earthquake south of Valdez. Interesting. Let's go over here near Anchorage. Northwest of Anchorage over here. Houston, Alaska, 1.4 tremor. Interesting. Fascinating. Let's go over here to the northeast side of Mount Redoubt. Northeast side of Mount Redoubt. This is a 2.0 earthquake. 2.0 earthquake. To the southeast, this is near Scranton, Alaska. This is a 1.5 tremor. Further south here, right here. This is Ridgway, Alaska, 2.0 earthquake. South Ridgway down here to the south, 2.0 earthquake in the Kenai Peninsula. We go out here to the west, okay, in the Cook Inlet here. This is a 1.6. This is a 2.0 earthquake. This is 1.8 tremor. And this is a 1.7. It's fascinating to note. Look what's happening here to the west here. This, they say, is a minus 0.8. South of Mount Redoubt here. This isn't anywhere above sea level. This is 1.3 miles deep. This is deeper inside the magma chamber here. I believe the magma chamber is down here and flows to the north over here to Mount Redoubt. Okay. Let's go over here. Okay. This is another volcano here. This is a 1.8 here. This is near this volcano here. Okay. This is 1.8 tremor here. Okay. Over here at the volcano, They say this is a minus 0.3 above sea level as well. This is 4.3 miles deep, not above sea level. Way down here to the south, I want to make sure you see this. Right here. This is Karluk. Guys, these are all in relation to volcanoes. These are all in relationship to volcanoes. Okay? Earthquakes are here, yes. But we also have earthquakes related to volcanoes as well. Okay? Again, down here near Atka, Alaska, we had a 5.0 earthquake, but it was not the only earthquake here. There were 3 5.0s. There was a 4.8 foreshock, and then 2 4.8, 4.7 aftershocks as well. Unreal. That's what's going on. Over here in Afghanistan, there's a huge swarm of earthquakes here. Why? Because just a little over a month ago, we had a 6.1 very shallow earthquake. It shattered the dreams of these people living here. Literally shattered their dreams, destroyed their homes, which were made of mud. Yes, they made mud homes. Some of them even lived in caves here in Afghanistan. 6.1 earthquake destroyed their homes and their dreams. They're still getting rocked today. This is a 4.2 earthquake. This also is another 4.2 earthquake. There are 4.5s, 4.6 earthquakes here. There's 4.2s, there's 3.7s, there's 3.6s as well. Like I said, there's a huge swarm of earthquakes here. Every time another earthquake hits this area, I can imagine what those people are feeling, what they're going through. Because just one more earthquake is just one more time where they think they might lose everything. They think they might lose everything. This whole place is still shaking. Down here to the south, this is Ghazi Khan, Pakistan. Ghazi Khan, Pakistan. This is a 4.7 earthquake here. Now, I'm briefly going to take you over to the area between Turkey and Syria, right here. There are 27 earthquakes here. 27 earthquakes here in the Turkey-Syria border region. Why? Because 2.5 years ago, February 3rd, 2023, we had a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake hit here. We have over 20 earthquakes here in this border region. Some of those earthquakes today were 4.7, 3.8, 3.7, 2.7, 2.4, 1.5, and 1.7 tremors. 20 plus earthquakes here. Aftershocks. Aftershocks of that huge 9.0, 10.0 earthquake that happened here just over 2.5 years ago. The area is still shaking. This area is still shaking. Earthquakes all over Turkey, north and south. Western Turkey. 5.0s, 4.7s, 3.5s, 3.7s, 2.5s, 1.5 tremors as well, as a result of a large earthquake that happened here over 3 weeks ago. The earth is still rocking. 50 plus earthquakes right here today. Aftershocks. About 30 earthquakes here in Western Turkey. 18 earthquakes here in the Aegean Sea. 18 earthquakes here in the Aegean Sea. Some here to the north, right in here. Some of them from the south, right in here. Why? Because we have magma down beneath the surface. We have magma down here beneath the surface causing these earthquakes. We even had on Saturday down here, right here. This is a tourist trap, guys. There are 30,000 people living here. 30,000 people living here, and they evacuated over 3,000 people here earlier this year because they thought this volcano was going to erupt. They thought this volcano was going to erupt. It didn't. Now we're still getting earthquakes here, mostly tremors and minor earthquakes here. But a 4.5 earthquake hit this community this weekend. They're getting rocked. They're getting rocked. Before I go up to central Italy here, Crete, Greece, they're getting rocked as well. Anywhere from 1.5 tremors on up to and including 2.5 and 3.5 earthquakes here in Crete, Greece. Literally everywhere. Everywhere. Over here in mainland Greece, 18 earthquakes here. 18 earthquakes ranging in size from 1.5, 1.7 tremors here, down here near Athens, Greece, on up to 2.5, 2.7, and 3.0 earthquakes here in northern Greece. Greece is rocking. Now, I'm going to back out real quick. I'm going to go back here to Turkey, Syria border region, the Anatolian Fault. The Anatolian Fault here at the border region of Turkey and Syria comes down here into the Eastern Mediterranean. There are earthquakes here in the Eastern Med. USGS almost never shows it, but I can show you earthquakes from the the EMSC Seismic Center, Eastern Mediterranean Seismic Center, showing earthquakes here. That Anatolian Fault goes south here of Crete, goes south of Crete. I should say south of south of I can't remember the name of this island now. It's a popular island anyway. Great island, great for sightseeing and everything else. Goes south of there. Continues out here westbound, goes south of Crete, Greece here. Goes south of Crete, Greece. There are earthquakes all around Crete. Okay. Goes up here to the western side of Greece. Okay. Continues out here to Italy. Continues out here in Italy. There are earthquakes all over southern Italy here in the toe of the boot and going up here into Italy here. Up here, right here, right here. See this volcano, guys? It's steaming. It's still rocking this area. Steaming. Steaming, guys, Vesuvius volcano. It's still rocking this area. There are swarms of earthquakes out here to the west through this area here. It's a very urbanized area. They're experiencing anywhere from 2.1 to 3.0, 3.7, and 4.0 earthquakes here. Yeah, they're getting nailed. They had a 5.0 earthquake here earlier this year after Vesuvius started steaming. They evacuated portions of this area because they actually thought the earthquake was a result of the volcano, and it was. But the volcano did not erupt. When there's an eruption of a volcano, it usually precedes a 5.0 earthquake, or it happens right after the earthquake hits. But the volcano did not erupt. These people evacuated their homes. Some people, I am told, are still living in their cars because they fear that if they aren't in their cars, they may be trapped in their homes when they have another very large earthquake and the volcano erupts. So some of these people are still living in their cars. It's amazing. It's amazing. This area is still getting hit, guys. This area is getting hit, especially over here as well. See these craters here? These craters are also part of the Vesuvius chain here. They're part of the Vesuvius chain here. Yes, there are earthquakes here. Yes, there is a possibility that the earthquakes could be here because of magma. Of course it is. Magma is recharging at the volcanoes here. That's what's going on here. Now, let's go over here to north central Italy here. North central Italy right here. USPS is not showing anything going on. There's a lot going on here in north central Italy. There are 28 earthquakes here. 28 earthquakes here. We just got through having another 5.0 earthquake here a week and a half ago. We're still getting swarms of earthquakes here. It's not stopping. Not stopping at all. But folks, that's not all that's happening. Going up here into Milan, northern Italy, earthquakes and tremors all over this area. Northeast of Milan here, in the eastern Appalachian, not eastern Alps, it's the eastern Alps mountains here, okay? And west of there as well. Down here into Marseille, the resort areas of Italy. Barcelona, Spain as well. But that's not all, folks, there's more. France is getting hit. Paris has gotten hit. Germany and Switzerland have gotten hit. Germany and Switzerland have gotten hit. Let me bring up my device. I want to show you some of these earthquakes before we leave here. Again, this is important. Otherwise, I would not even do it here. It's moving. It's moving all over, guys. It's moving all over. Look at earthquakes here. No joke. No joke at all. Up to the north. Waldorf, Germany. 1.0 tremor here. Going over to the east. 2.7 in Poland. .7 there in Poland. Heidenheim. 1.9, 2.0 earthquake. Going over here to the west and south. 1.4 in Germany. Kleichenberg in Germany. Going south, Switzerland. Another 2.4 earthquake. Into the Alps Mountains, Lombardy, Italy. 2.3 here. These are minor earthquakes, not just tremors, but minor earthquakes. Going over here to the west, Switzerland again. Switzerland. This is a microquake, it's 0.5 microquake. Right next to it, literally, this is 1.8 tremor here. Going south here, in the Alps Mountains of Italy, the 0.6 microquake here. Let's show you that one in France here. This is a 2.2 earthquake here in France. Central France, South Central France. This is a 2.1 earthquake here. just south of there. This is also a 2.1 earthquake near Saint Clement. I wish I could speak French. Saint Clement de Rennais, France. A 2.1 earthquake here. Interesting. We're not done. One more further to the west. Nouvelle-Aquitaine, France. This is another 2.1 earthquake here. Honestly, guys, this is the most earthquakes I have ever seen here in France. This is the most earthquakes I have ever seen here in France. These are all minor earthquakes. Up here to the north. Over here near, what's it called, Normandy, France. This is Bretagne, France. This is a 2.5 earthquake here. 2.5 earthquake here to the northwestern shoreline of France. 2.5 minor earthquake here. Now, while we don't have any earthquakes in England per se, right there, we have earthquakes here in Scotland. Scotland. Up here in the north. We have a small swarm of earthquakes here. I call it a cache of earthquakes, a C-A-C-H-E cache. This is a 4.0 earthquake here. Scotland. Scotland, guys. USGS says a 3.9. Interesting. This is a 4.0 earthquake. Now, right beside it. Right beside it. Let me zoom in here because it's only showing one earthquake. More earthquakes here. There's a good sized swarm of earthquakes here. This is a 0.8 microquake. I'm just going to tell you about the other earthquakes here because they're tightly packed right there. They're tightly packed right there. Okay. Now, USGS is showing this earthquake here, but the EMSC is showing something different. See this waterway here? USGS has this waterway going to the north of there. Right there. USGS has that 4.0 to the south. This has it to the west. Has it to the west. The center part of Loch Rannoch, this is a 3.3 earthquake. 3.3 earthquake here. Right next to it is a 2.4 minor earthquake. 3.3 and a 2.4. On the southern side here, south central Rannoch, Lake Rannoch, or Loch Rannoch, this is a 2.7 earthquake here. Over here to the east on Lake Rannoch, right there. Okay? Right next to the shoreline, 1.1. Going to the south and west, 1.4. 1.1. 1.2. 1.4 there. Over here, just central to those other quakes, this is a 0.8 microquake. Okay? Earthquakes that are not even showing here. They didn't show this 3.3 earthquake here, but they showed the other 3.9 supposedly south. Guess what? It wasn't south, it was east. Okay? Again, false information coming from USPS. This is the British Empire, Scotland. earthquakes here in Scotland today. Okay? I want you to see that. It's important. I think it's very important. Earthquakes in Spain and Portugal here. Southern Spain, 1.6 tremor here. Going north up the Portugal border, this is 1.6 tremor here. Southern Portugal over here in the Azore Islands, this is a 2.5 earthquake here. Then we need to go over here into the Canary Islands here. The good old Canary Islands, let's bring it up here. Good old Canary Islands, USGS doesn't have anything here at all. Nothing here. But right here, on the northern shore of this island, Risco El Perdido, this is a 2.2 earthquake here. 2.2 earthquake on the north shore of this island here. Okay? Yes, there's a volcano there in the center of the island. You can see the volcano right there, center part of the island. Along the north shore, there's a 2.2 earthquake. Then, to the west, right between both these islands, we have a 1.5 tremor here. Yes, you see the island of Tenerife. There's 1.5 earthquake between there and that other island. I don't remember the name of the other island here. Las Palmas de Gran. Oh, this is the Gran Canary Island there. Gran Canary Island there. So we have an earthquake on the north shore of Gran Canary Island, one over on the east side of Tenerife. Unreal. I've pretty much taken you all over the world, except South America. Look at this. South America is moving. Northern Chile, central Chile, we have 10 plus earthquakes there. And over here in Colombia and Venezuela, we also have earthquakes. Rock and rolling. Now, I want to say there's at least 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21 earthquakes to the south. Up here in the north, we have 2, 4, 6, 7 earthquakes in northern Chile. Going up into Peru, near Sabancaya volcano. Here's a 2.7 earthquake near Sabancaya volcano. 2.7 earthquake near Sabancaya. Incredible. USGS not saying anything. Not a thing. Okay? That's there. Pasco, Peru. This is the 3.5 earthquake there. North of Pasco, this is Tambo, Huánuco, Peru. This is a 4.1 earthquake there. Fascinating. They don't show any earthquakes here. There are plenty of earthquakes here. They are not even showing the moderate earthquake. Offshore Ecuador. Offshore northern Ecuador. This is a 4.18 earthquake. 4.18 earthquake off of North Shore Ecuador here. Moderate earthquake. Fascinating, but no cigar. Colombia. Antioquia, Colombia. A 4.07 earthquake. Moderate earthquake. Again, northern Colombia. Santander, Colombia. We have a 2.5 earthquake there. Then we go up into Venezuela. We have a 3.1 earthquake there. Right along the earthquake fault. Guess what earthquake fault that is? the Cayman Island. The Cayman Island Fault. I shouldn't say Cayman Island. It's called the Cayman Fault. Okay? 3.1 earthquake right on the fault line. Two more earthquakes here. A 3.1 and a 3.2 earthquake right there. Okay? The Cayman Fault line, let's back this out. See the Cayman Fault line coming out of Guatemala here? Let's zoom in here. Goes out here in the Caribbean, doesn't it? Then it makes northern turn and goes up towards the Canary Islands. I'm sorry, not the Canary, the Cayman Islands here. Then it passes north of Jamaica here. Goes on, skirts the border region of Cuba. Goes north of Haiti. Continues eastward north of the Dominican Republic, where we had this earthquake here. Continues eastbound north of Puerto Rico, north of the US and British Virgin Islands, then starts going southward, southeastward. It goes southeastward, east of the Leeward Islands here. Then it continues its southward journey over here until it gets over here towards Venezuela. Then it turns inland towards Venezuela. That's where we have these earthquakes here. That's where we have these earthquakes right here. Okay? So I pretty much have taken you on a tour of the entire world. Yes, we made a stop here. It stops in the United States. We showed you Southern California as well, and the New Madrid Fault, and Washington State, the Cascadia earthquake fault. They're not showing you any earthquakes there. Guess where we're going tomorrow? We're going to show you the New Madrid Fault tomorrow. On Wednesday, we're going over here to the Cascadia Fault Zone. The Cascadia Fault Zone. We're also going to show you earthquakes at the volcanoes here on Wednesday. Do we have any questions? Demon Catman has said that red dot on the map was Rudolph. Yeah, it could be, but it's a brand new earthquake. Good one. Good one, Demon. You're awesome. Demon Catman's an awesome man. You all are. You're great people. I love each and every one of you. Now, I want to go over the scriptures. I want to go over the scriptures for a reason. The scriptures teach us that Christ is the Christ of the Old and New Testament. The scriptures teach us he's not only Christ of the Old world, but the New world as well. He has a lot to say throughout the scriptures. Now, I'm going over here. I want to talk about faith. Going over in the scriptures talking about faith. First off, yea, he that truly hath humbled himself and repenteth of his sins, and endureth to the end, the same shall be blessed. Yea, much more blessed than they who are compelled to humble them. More here. Something more here. Unfortunately, YouTube took us down. They brought us right back up here. Now, behold, I say unto you, I would that ye should remember that our God is merciful, and to all who believe on his name. Therefore he desireth in the first place that ye should believe, yea, even on his word. And now he imparteth his word by angels unto men. Yea, not only all little children do have words given unto them many times, which confound the wise and the learned. Remember Christ taught in the synagogues? He was 14 years old. Now I said concerning faith, it was not a perfect knowledge, even so, it is with my words. You cannot know of a surety at first unto perfection, any more than faith is of perfect knowledge. But behold, if you will awake and arouse your faculties, even to an experiment upon my words, exercise a particle of faith. Yea, even if you can no more than desire to believe, let this desire work in you, even until ye believe in a manner that ye give place for a portion of my words. Now we will compare the word unto a seed. Remember this story? A seed may be planted in your heart. Behold, if it be a true seed or a good seed, if you do not cast it out, if you don't cast it out in unbelief, if you will resist that, behold, it will swell within you. And when you feel these swelling motions, it must needs be that this is good seed, or that the word is good. The word is good, brothers and sisters. It must needs be that this is a good seed, or that the word is good, for it beginneth to enlarge my soul. Yea, it beginneth to enlighten my understanding. Yea, it beginneth to be delicious to me. Now behold, would not this increase your faith? I say unto you, yea, nevertheless it hath not grown up into a perfect knowledge yet. That's where faith is. It's not a perfect knowledge. It's not a perfect knowledge, but it's faith. Faith, brothers and sisters, faith is a mustard seed that can grow. And it can grow into far more than that. Let's exercise our faith, brothers and sisters. Let's do what the Lord asks us to do. Let's by far do what the Lord asks us to do. Exercise our faith to true understanding till we have that perfect knowledge. Faith is not the perfect knowledge, but we can get there. We can get there. Start with faith. Believe in God. Study the scriptures and pray. Study the scriptures and pray. I guarantee you, you will gain a testimony of Jesus Christ. I know that to be a fact because it's happened with me. I have a true and faithful testimony of Jesus Christ. And I impart that with you. The Lord loves you. I know that the Lord loves you. I have it. I've had it shown to me. Brothers and sisters, I love you. The Lord loves you as well. May God bless you. May God keep you within the palms of his hands, as the Proverbs say. May he keep you within the palms of his hands. He loves you very much. If anything else happens tonight, we'll be back on there to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. We'll be back the same thing in the morning if something happens. But we will be here tomorrow afternoon just after 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Please join us here for another episode of Emergency Management Associates. I love you. May God bless you. May God be with you this day and always. Take care, everyone. We'll see you on the other side. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, complex. Make it easy to grasp and absorb. Sharing strategies for safety. The vital lessons you can't afford to hoard, So thank you for watching. And thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family. A member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better. Bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency Management Associates is here for you now and forever, it's true.